Live chat, invisible. Sorry about that. But there's one person waiting.
Right, cool. Yeah, I'm good now. I'm good.
Yeah.
Can't join stream. The host is no longer live.
Did I sent you a second link? You might have went onto the old one.
Hold on. Yeah, this is the new one. Okay,
He's coming, everyone.
Join.
Yep, add. There we go. Should be coming in. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
How you doing, my brother?
Good, my brother. I'm good.
Wicked.
We've got the black and white. We've got the black and white backgrounds. We're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what are you saying to me anyway? How you been?
Yeah, really good, bro, man. I'm working on a project at the moment I'm really excited about, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm really excited about this project. Really, really excited. How about yourself?
Can you share anything with us? Can you share anything with us? Can you share anything with us?
Sure. So it's funny, I don't think I've got any copies with me. I'll grab it in a second if I can. But you know, I've got a book out, Who Helps the Helpline when the helpline needs help. And the book looks at how to help people that's going through stress, depression, trauma, and the fact that different occupations vibrate in different frequencies. Everyone's vibrating in certain frequencies, like high suicide rates, depression rates. So I'm building an app at this precise time, and this app is designed to help people throughout their whole day and their life in general. So a lot of people overall don't know how to get to the next stage in their life. You know, a lot of people are going through dark times and they don't have a mentor. They don't have someone around them that can elevate them to the next level. So this app is designed, and it's free as well. You know, I've spent unseen amounts of money on it to help people within our community, but globally as well. App is designed to help people with their depression, their traumas, their finances, their mindset, their education, their mastermind groups, their family and relationships, their health. It covers all of it. Like I traveled to about 25 countries looking at human behavior, and the most successful people I came across had 18 parts of their life successfully happening in place at the same time. And when I looked at the average person who was struggling, they only had about 7 or 8
that
things
were good.
happening. Sorry?
Only like 8 that were good, that were in place.
Yeah, that was in place, that was actively working. And so they needed more areas. And yes, I was doing talks, I was doing workshops, which I still do, doing seminars, doing one-to-ones, but you can't, that burns you out over a period of time. So I started to think about ways of serving millions of people whilst not needing to be there. You know, you can't be there for everyone, and it's painful when you see some people struggling. They don't need to be, they just need tweaks in their life. So I've been working on this app now for about 2 years, hands-on with my developers and team, and testing and tweaking it. And now the app is probably about 3 to 4 months ready to start sending out to our community and stuff. And as I said, the app is also built. It's going to have videos in it. It's going to have everything you need. It's going to be all in one place. And it's going to help you stage by stage throughout your days, your life. If you're going through trauma, it would actually help you through the trauma in stages. Because a lot of us as men as well, we suffer in silence. So this app is designed to also help people who are suffering in silence, but there's going to be a system in place that's going to get them out of that dark place. So yeah, that's what I'm been working on, to be honest with you. It's funny, as we mature in life, I like to think, not get older. Some people get older and they don't mature, but like, you know, for us who mature, as we mature in life, life is about servitude. It's about serving people. So think about how much people you've been serving in your more adult years, and the amount of people I've been serving as well. That's what we've been doing. We've been serving people, sometimes on detriment. We put ourselves in harm's way to serve other people. You know that
100%.
already.
And that could even be financially and emotionally and spiritually as well. Do you know what I mean?
Massively.
Like, God.
Massively.
Yeah.
How about yourself? How's things on your side? Because I know you help people, and I know you feel the pain of helping people as well.
Don't tell me about
Because
it. Don't tell me about it.
and
You know
then
what? Yeah.
how about your
You know,
side?
I think right now I've been. You know what it is? I always help my friends, innit? So anyone I'm around, more than likely, I'm helping them in some way or form, yeah. But what's been happening to me is that my work is starting to take the back seat. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when my work's been taking the back seat, I know that's comes sometimes with helping, but sometimes when there's like when I feel like there ain't no appreciation, it doesn't make me dislike them. It makes me dislike myself a bit. Do you get what I'm saying? Because then it makes me think, why are you doing that when really you know what you're not I know what I came out and changed and put my mind to do. It was to help people, but it was also to change my life so I can help people. But if I'm just helping people all the time and I'm always putting in the box and no one's putting nothing in the box and everyone's taking out the box and I'm putting in the box, there's gonna be nothing left in it. So I just thought to myself, you know what, I kind of need to take a step back and focus on what I'm focused on because obviously I've where I am right now, I've built up to this point, and it took me a long time to build up this point. But it's like I forgot, not because I ain't forgot what I was doing. It's just that I kind of got slack on what I was doing to help other people, and that ain't really gonna help none of us. Because when I'm in a position not to help no one, then there's no help at all. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I'm
Yeah,
used, because obviously I used to talk to this girl and she used to tell me, I used to tell her my problems like I usually do help a lot of people and I was telling her one time, obviously I wasn't feeling too happy, but she said one thing to me. She said sometimes what you got to realize is some of us are takers and some of us are givers. That's just the way the world's set up.
yeah,
Do
it's
you get what I'm
true.
saying? When she
It's
told me
true.
that, I thought, rah, would I rather be a taker or a giver? I think I'd rather be a giver, no matter what. Do you get what I'm
Let me
saying?
tell you
Because
something, man.
at least
As
I've got to
painful,
give. If you give a giver, that means you've got to give. Do you get what I'm saying? If you're a taker, that means you got nothing. If you get what I'm saying, and I'd rather have than not have. I think that's a better situation for me. So sorry, talk, Kev.
no, you're right. Yeah. By the way, Kelly. Yeah, I do partly use Maslow's heresy needs as well, and his hierarchy of needs. Um, yeah, I do use part of it as well. Probably about 4% of it I use. I mean, it's 4% of the system. But yeah, and also as well, recharging. We got to keep recharging.
Mhm.
But you know where recharging comes from? Recharging also comes from making sure that we're around good people, because good
Mhm.
people charge you.
That's true.
Good
Yeah,
people
that's
charge you,
true.
and that's what we got to keep doing, is making sure that we're always around people who give us their energy as well, so we can
Mhm.
also give energy. So it's
Mhm.
so important, so
Mhm.
important, so important.
Because don't get me wrong, it does feel good when you're giving in it, but then if no one's if it's not coming back, then it becomes draining. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Because like you said,
yeah,
there's nothing left. You ain't got
yeah.
nothing left for yourself, nothing left to give.
Mm.
And then obviously once you're like that, you're kind of susceptible. What is it that word? Susceptible. It's susceptible
Susceptible, yeah.
to other things happening to you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
depression, like drugs, like alcohol, like starting to do things that you might not have done if you was okay. Like you might think, I need to start going out now because I'm feeling a bit down to make myself feel better. And then when you go out, you're open to all types of devilish stuff. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you start making that a regular pattern. Do you know what I mean?
So true.
So, because I,
So
I like I like sitting by myself. I love it. Like I got no problem with it at all. Do you get what I'm saying? But then when I'm trying to sit by myself, sometimes the people that I'm giving to, they get kind of greedy. You get what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm trying? Because I'm just trying to chill. I know when I chill by myself, that's where I get stronger. Do you know what I mean? I get stronger when I'm at home, looking after myself, reading stuff, writing stuff, going through paperwork from prison, and remembering certain ideas and improving on that idea. Like that's how I get stronger. That's how I come out of all these different ideas, and I still got so many because I writ down so much notes in prison, and I just put them down. So anytime I get kind of, what's it called? Something block. What's that thing? Writer's block, whatever it is.
yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
just
Yeah.
yeah, I just go upstairs in the attic and start taking out the bags and start reading little papers and that I've got, and then little things. It might not even be that idea, but it will trigger another idea, and I think, okay. Now I've learned this and I've learned that. I can make that into something. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I didn't see the person I was going to become when I was in there. I know I wanted to change, but I didn't know how I'd change it, but I did. Obviously, I was doing education in there to make sure that I was able to do things. You know, that's how I was computer savvy and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I stayed in education, and that's the one thing I hate about there's no not the one thing I hate prison full stop. But the one thing in prison that is so horrible, yeah, Kev, is that you see prison, you see education, they'll pay you like £10 to go education and £30 to go to a workshop. Can you believe that? So it's like they're
Mm.
promoting
Yeah, they don't want to
you being in the
inspire you to
workshop.
educate yourself.
Yeah. So if a man's one of them men that smoke beer cigarette and they need to speak to their girl every week, £10 can't help them. They don't care
Mm.
about no education. They're going to the workshop, slugging it out so they can get their £30 so they can buy the tobacco and put the rest of the money on the phone, talk to their girl. And that's kind of what the prison promotes. How can you only get £8, £9 to go prison, to go education? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Let
And
me
you
ask you a
probably get
question.
education every day. Mm.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think you needed prison for you to become the person that you are today, or do you reckon you're destined to go this direction, or you reckon it would have gone up absolutely wrong?
No, it would have went wrong. It would have went wrong. It would have 100% went wrong because without prison, think about it. The first time, remember, like before I went prison, I was smoking crack, right? Obviously, like I keep telling people at the time, when I say the word crack, they think of like like the crackers that you might see walking around Brixton and that. It wasn't that type of thing in it. It was like obviously I was younger as well in it, so I was more durable than those people that are out there. But also, like I still look presentable and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't a thing of, I wasn't washing, my clothes were holes, or I wasn't like it wasn't like that. It was more like a fashion thing when I was smoking. Like we was going to the parties where all the other ballers were and we was smoking and stuff like that. But under all them nice clothes and nice jewelry, I was getting slim. Do you get what I'm saying, bro? Man was getting slim. Like I could see it in my face like that. Everything was getting drawn. So if I didn't go to prison, more than likely I would have ended up outside the Ritz, with the rest of the rest of the drug users. I would have ended up like that. It would have been inevitable. You can't like because obviously I see the people, they smoke spliffs. Like I wasn't long enough to go past spliffs. I've never out long enough to go past spliffs. So usually what I see the pattern is they smoke spliffs until it don't affect them no more, and then they start licking the pipe. Do you know what I mean? But I was never out that long for that to catch me. If you get what I'm saying, I was always like every time I came out, it was like 6 weeks or 3 months, and then bam, back to prison. Do you know what I mean? So I
Do,
never
do,
got caught
would you say, did you have a moment of being relieved when feeling relief when you went to prison? Did you ever experience that relief, like I can finally breathe now? I'm not on the
twice,
run. I'm not smoking. I'm not in beef. I'm not.
twice.
Did you feel like I can finally breathe now and sleep?
All
Did you
right,
ever go through that?
all right. Then watch this. Yeah. Um, Remember when I said 6 weeks or something? That 6 weeks one was probably when the first time I ever got arrested in 1994. I went to prison. Yeah, but when I went to prison, it was kind of like I was in prison. Everyone was there, so it was kind of fun. Yeah, but then we escaped from prison, innit? So when I never escaped from prison, I escaped from the court. So when I escaped now, it was like I was doing the same thing, like every day, waking up, robbing, smoking, getting up, robbing, smoking, yeah. And then it was even getting to the stage, where I was smoking and I was looking at the spliff and I'm thinking, this shit ain't even doing nothing. I mean, like I'm smoking so much, so much, so much. And then I remember like I probably didn't even smoke all the spliff. I put the spliff down. I was thinking, I actually thought it to myself. That's why you got to mind what you say. You know that. I said, I need a break from this. You get me? That's what I said. Remember Delhi B? Remember Delhi B?
Mm,
I
mm.
was sitting in his house
Danger
in Kennett.
Town, yeah.
Yeah, we was in his house at Oval, and I remember I said, "Yeah, man, I need a break from this, man." And like I was pulling on the spliff so hard, like even the saliva was just making the spliff hang, and every time I was built it, it was starting to break. Like the food was just rubbish. I put it down. I said, "I need a break from this." I picked up my bag, walked downstairs. As I walked downstairs, I opened the door. A Fed car pulled up. I looked at the Fed looked at me, and I just ran. The Fed didn't know me. The Fed just saw me come out of a block with a bag in my hand, which was observing me to see, did you just burgle the house or whatever? He wasn't on nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? But as soon as I saw him make eye contact with me, I just ran. I just ran as fast as I could. I kept on running. I kept on running. A police, they started running me. And then one of them, one of them coaches what go to the football.
Mm.
The green ones with all the police on it. They was driving past, innit? As they saw him running after me. So as I was running, I'm watching this van, yeah, and I'm watching the whole van, go do 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 do. Everyone on the van, they're joined into the run, innit? So I'm running now, and then obviously I've run down the alleyway, and then at the other end of the alleyway, they're coming down now, and I stopped. And before they got to me, I was holding my hands, my chest was burning, yeah, probably from all the cracking that I was smoking, and I was just thinking, thank fuck, man, this is over. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, even the smoke, I was all smoked out and everything. Like, I didn't even feel like I could even smoke anymore. I wasn't enjoying it. I was just like, yeah, man. I remember just with my hands on my finger, but usually I resist the rest. There was no resisting. I couldn't wait for them to just come and put me in my cuffs because obviously I was on the run in it, so I knew it was only a matter of time before I got nicked. But it was just kind of getting boring. Even the smoking wasn't exciting no more, and yeah, it's just that feeling that you said in it. I just kind of like had enough, and I was kind of relieved to just go back and get healthy and eat 3 meals a day and just reset, man. Because it wasn't good the way I was feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm. And this is the reason why I'm a massive believer that when we go through things in life, we should just go through the experience of it, just feel it
Mhm,
all,
mhm,
because you needed to go through what you need to go through. And at the time, you
mhm,
probably thought going to jail and getting the sentence that you got was probably
mhm,
one of the worst things ever.
mhm.
But that actually helped you to filter out the old system and bring in a
Exactly.
new system. And so it's like my main thing, even in my book, I write about it, I lecture about it, I talk about it constantly, is that most of us check out too quickly.
Mhm,
And when I say check out, most of us unalive ourselves. Yeah.
mhm,
And in the process of doing that, what you're really saying is there's no more blessings that's ever coming my way, so I might as well check out today.
mhm,
And the amount of people that I talk to weekly or monthly that are considering unaliving themselves, um, it's painful. And I
mhm,
always say to them, are you saying that you don't believe no more blessings are coming your way? Do you know what I mean?
mhm,
And that is something we need to always focus on, is hope.
mhm,
Some of us are getting 10, 15, 20 years in jail. There's still hope. Some of
mhm,
us are in a dark, dark place and not feeling like anything's ever going to come back around again to bless us. But
mhm.
there's always still hope. And that's what
Always.
we need to always advocate for. Sometimes it's not about educating someone. Sometimes it's just simply about giving them enough hope for them to get through that season,
Mhm,
just to get through that season. And we don't know what hope looks like.
mhm,
We don't know. Because in your case, hope was going inside for a while. That
mhm.
allowed you to breathe,
To
to
breathe, yeah.
build, to become, to discover,
Mhm,
to be you now.
mhm. And
You
then
know,
look at my new date, and know that that's the date I'm working towards. That's the date that my new version of me will start.
mm,
Sometimes people look at that letter when that letter comes under your door when you first get sentenced, and then you see how many, like, everything's totaled up, like how many days you got and X Y Z. Sometimes it looks like it is a lot, but sometimes it looks, because it's proper in days. You should think, bloody hell, how many days? But you see that you see when you were saying before, if you go in the place that you go into, like if you go into the Hope place, them numbers don't seem as bad as they do if you stay in the depressed place and look at that letters. Like if you look at them numbers, you can look at
so
them in two
true.
different lights. If you get what I'm saying, it's the
So
same
so
number, but it just depends at what the state your mind is in when you're looking at them numbers. If you get what I'm saying.
yeah, so true. I agree.
Mm.
I agree. So going on to um I was watching the bouncer video,
Mhm.
and he's clearly very smart.
Mhm.
and you definitely have to give him that respect.
Mhm.
He's got amazing drive.
Mhm.
Um, he's got ambition and he's smart. I
Mhm.
do think um, that certain things, when you're talking to a certain crowd, like in Bouncer's case, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
When you're talking to what I call an impressible crowd,
Questionable.
yeah,
Mhm.
a crowd who, or audience, should I say, who are still trying to discover themselves.
Mhm.
You have to be very careful about certain little statements you make. Just very
Mhm.
careful. Just finite, it's little tweaks,
Mhm.
you know. So when he kind of mentioned the XL and
What the XL, the bully dog, yeah.
yeah, the bully dog,
Mhm. Mhm.
and
ZK.
comparing it, yeah, comparing the two,
Mhm.
I think when you compare the two, when you compare two bad things together, it's like saying, do you know what? Don't why ban machine guns? Why don't we still keep handguns?
Mhm.
Guns are still guns. You get what
Guns
I'm
are
saying?
still
Danger's
guns.
still kind of danger.
Mhm.
And I know he wasn't really stating it. I know that's not what he meant it, how he
Mhm.
meant it. But
Mhm.
to a crowd, to an audience who don't fully understand, in their
Mhm.
mind, it still justifies one or the other.
Yeah.
When we should not be looking at any of those.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
I get that.
what he did say, what I agree with, and I definitely want to add more to that, is when he's talking about the different drill artists in jail.
Mhm.
I've been studying this for probably about, and not just drill artists, just people in general, right? But
Mhm.
artists in general. I've been studying it for probably about 22 years,
Mhm.
21 years, 21 years.
Mhm.
And I was looking at, for example, when you looked at Biggie's album, yeah,
Mhm.
Ready to Die and all of that, right?
Mhm.
Tupac, just constantly talking about dying.
Dying.
Yeah. When you keep on putting a certain type of energy out there,
Mhm.
it's a science. It's not even me. It's not even me
Mhm.
saying it. It's a
Mhm.
science. When and when you keep putting a certain energy out there, you have to fulfill the cycle of that prophecy.
Mhm.
So, like when I look at a lot of the drill artists, I'm like, it's so heartbreaking to
Mhm.
see the amount of them that are in jail, and it's
Mhm.
so heartbreaking to see the amount of them who's lost their career, who's lost a massive opportunity.
Mhm.
But there's a science,
Mhm.
and I think the quicker we learn the science, the easier the journey becomes for everyone. So let
Mhm.
me explain the
I was gonna
science.
say break
Okay.
down the science. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
let
Break
me
down the
break down the
science.
science, right?
Mhm.
And I talk about this. This is one of my main subject points. So
Mhm.
people always hear me talk about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I talk about the fact that we're all made out of atoms. I always
Mhm.
will talk about.
Mhm.
And inside of an atom, I actually talk about it in my book. I need to grab my book and show you it. And inside of an atom, you have protons.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that protons is a positive energy. And then you have
Mhm.
electrons. Electrons is a negative charge.
Mhm.
Well, it's not a charge. It's negative, right? And in between, you've got neutrons. It's like
Mhm.
it separates the two. It's like a dimmer switch, right?
Mhm.
And when you're in a proton state, they talk about the consciousness of love. Yeah, it
Mhm.
comes from a proton state. And
Mhm.
within that, you've got positive energy, positive vibe, positive conversations. And then you've got electron state.
Mhm.
And electron state are entities. So electron state is negative entities when it talk about spirituality or talk about the human
Mhm.
form. It's negative energies, and these energies are all based upon fear. So
Mhm.
the fear of old age, the fear of poverty, the
Mhm.
fear of ill health, the
Mhm.
fear of loss, the fear of not being loved. There's all these
Mhm.
different entities, and people normally get these entities coming into their world and their life in the early stages. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, you're not good enough. How many times as children have we heard, you're not good enough? Oh
Mhm.
my gosh, you're ugly. Or you're never going to be successful. They're
Mhm.
entities. Do you
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? Now,
Mhm.
when you start to talk about these entities over and over again, you start to vibrate with an electron frequency.
Mhm.
and a lot of drill music vibrates in electron frequency.
Mhm.
And so you have seasons, right? You have seasons. So you have a season. Um, you have planetary seasons. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's say you talk about the seasons of the Earth. You got 4 seasons, 3 months. Okay,
Mhm.
3 months each season. You got
Big
spring,
up cat.
autumn,
Yeah. Yeah.
winter, etc. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
But when it comes to seasons of us spiritually and seasons of us when it comes to life, they're not broken up into months. One
Mhm.
season can go on for 3 years,
Mhm.
and we have to play that season out. No matter what happens, we have to ride that season out.
Mhm.
So let me go into it a bit more. Let's say now I done someone harm. So they talk about, they talk about the law of attraction, but there's all these other laws as well. There's law of
Mhm.
relativity, there's law of cause and effect, there's law
Mhm.
of compensation. All these laws have to play themselves out. There's 12
Mhm.
different laws. There's about 48 laws, but main 12 different laws that has to play themselves out. And why is this relevant to what we're talking about concerning Bouncer as well, and what he said? Because as I said, everything's a science, and I focus on science. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, when you're going through a bad okay, when you're going through a bad time, that bad time may go on for 2 years,
Mhm.
because all the things you were thinking about and all the things that you were saying and all the things that you was doing was 2 years of you have to now see that through.
Mhm.
Every time you do a tune, and every time you chant that tune, and every time you perform that tune, you start to build up. If it's a negative, right?
Mhm.
If it's a negative one, right? You start to build up a frequency that has to release itself. But
Mhm.
you're the creator of that frequency. You're the creator of that negativity.
Mhm.
So you have to play it out. That's
Mhm.
why Biggie was destined to go the direction that he was going. That's
Mhm.
why Tupac was destined to go where he was going. That's why most of those um, drill artists in America, they have to ride the journey of constant beef, death, prison, and all the rest of it.
Mhm.
And so sometimes, and here's where it becomes very, very hard. This is where it becomes very hard.
Mhm.
You may now turn around and say, I'm gonna be good now. I'm
Mhm.
gonna be good. I don't want to be bad no more. I want to be
Mhm.
good. Just because you want to be good, it doesn't mean that the cycle's gonna stop.
Mhm.
So this is where most people go wrong. The cycle may, for example, numbers sake, the cycle may have 2 more years of you have to pay the price of that negative cycle, that negative
Mhm.
vibrational frequency. After 6 months of you trying to be good, you may say, I can't be good no more. I can't do this.
Mhm.
This is too hard. This is too stressful. I'm going back to the
Mhm.
road.
Mhm.
This is too hard. It's too stressful. I'm going back to robbing. This is too
Mhm.
hard. This is too stressful. I want to unalive myself. This is too hard. This is too stressful. I'm going to start smoking. This is
Mhm.
too hard. This is too stressful. I'm going to start drinking.
Mhm.
And so most people cop out too quickly. Yes, I know it's very hard, but we have to go through the whole cycle. So when I see a lot of these drill artists that are going to prison, I feel it for them because most of them don't understand the science.
Mhm.
Most of them. So how would you explain Jay-Z and Puffy's journey? Was their journey to be to the culture? Okay, I'll cover that in a second.
Where did you see
We
that
might
one?
get away with things a little bit. Okay, so even going back to it, so even look at Puffy, for example, right? I don't know. I was never in a room with Puffy. I mean, I put on events back in the days when we done chilling and we had Puffy perform there. Apart from that, I haven't been in Puffy's world. I don't know his world, and I never truly really speculate because I don't know, right?
Mhm.
Um, but one thing I do know from a scientific perspective, one thing I do know from a scientific perspective, whatever Puffy's done in the past, he's now paying the price for it. It may not be what he's charged for, or it may not what he's being accused for, and it may not be um, what people are talking about. But one thing that is a fact, he has to pay the price.
Mhm.
So now he's paying the price, and only him within himself knows. do you know what? That may but not be true, and that may not be true, but I know I'm paying the price. Maybe it's because of the
Mhm.
royalties I never given in the past, and maybe,
Mhm.
and this is why when you look back at Puffy's case, right, he started to give back his royalties. He
Yeah,
started
yeah.
to
Recently,
give back
change his
people's
name to
money. He
Love
started
and all that.
exactly. He started to try and change the figure because he knew his
Mhm.
cycle was coming. Because they're not
Mhm.
stupid; they understand the science.
Mhm.
Jay-Z, the whole of them, they all will pay the price. We all pay the price. None of us
Mhm.
escapes it.
Mhm.
None of us escapes the prices that we pay.
Mhm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we may say, "Oh my gosh, I made it. I didn't go prison. I
Mhm.
outsmarted the
Mhm.
system. I didn't go prison." But then you find that your child all of a sudden is doing 10 years.
Mhm.
You find out that your child is doing 15 years. And you're like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, my baby is in jail or
Mhm.
my daughter's in jail or
Mhm.
whatever. Because someone has to pay the price.
Mhm.
It's a science. And so you feel the pain of the pain you dished out, even via your family or your
Mhm.
children or your loved ones. You
So
know,
you.
so there's a science to it. And so
Mhm.
when I look at what Bouncer was saying, um, what needs to happen is most of these drill artists needs to be taught first and foremost the price that they will pay for um, what they preach about. Not even what
Mhm.
they rap about, MC about, or sing about. It's what they preach about. It's a science. And so the only discrepancy I had with Bouncer personally is comparing one bad to another bad is never a great idea to do. Because
Mhm.
for someone who doesn't understand the science, they're saying, okay, I can justify the knife or I can justify the dog,
Mhm.
when both of them really don't bring any benefit to the bigger picture. What's your thoughts
Mhm.
on that, bro?
Well, my thoughts was just I got two things. I wanted to go back to what you were saying a minute ago, but I'm gonna just sort this one out so I don't forget.
Sure.
In regards to the bouncer one, I just think where I think it where I didn't really agree with him was because he was saying what you said he was comparing it to, and I think that obviously the the knife by itself, if it's on the floor, it don't move, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? But the dog can come to its own mind, have a bad day, or even be suffering mental health and just do someone a madness. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you have to go and actually pick up that knife physically. Like that dog, you could just be walking the dog. Some people say it's the dog's trainer or the dog's trainer, but a dog can be having a bad day, even if it's a good dog. Do you know what I mean? Or something just irritates it and it just goes mad. So I don't think, like you said, comparing of those two things was ideal because, like I said, the knife don't move, and someone has to pick up that knife to go and do something. Where the dog can just take matters into its own hands if it decides to. That's why I believe he. That's why I didn't really agree with what he was saying. The prison stuff, the kids going in prison. I actually said what he said last time in regards to moving out the area. That's what I actually said on couple weeks ago, moving up. I think that's what they should do. These rappers, when they see they're about to blow, like don't even wait for no label to take it into their own hands. If you really want to change and you really want to have something different for yourself, take it into your own hands. You get a portion of money. Ain't nothing to rent a mansion in a different part of the country for a year. Do you know what I mean? And just get on with your career if that's what you really want. But sometimes they ain't been through enough sometimes to make them decisions. Sometimes you know, they weren't actually the top boy in their area, and now through rapping they become the top boy, and they want to live out that fantasy. Sometimes I feel like, do you know what I'm saying? So they don't move. Do you get what I'm saying? They want to have all the girls. They want to have all of that adulation that they grew up being around the next guy that was really on stuff. Um, had. And that's why sometimes they get caught up in the trap and don't move quick enough. When things start to get happen, though, I think they do start to change. But sometimes things don't happen quick enough for them to make the change. Because obviously that's what happened to me, innit? Things happened. A lot of things happened for me to make a change. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't have a career, so I didn't really have nothing to lose. So obviously, if you're sitting down in the police station and you're on an M charge and you're last week you was on number one in the charts, there's a lot to think about in it. You could end up getting bail and there'd be a lot to think about. And you would think like, oh my god, I've just threw that all away. and then maybe I'll come back. It goes two ways, isn't it? Sometimes you can come back out and think you're invincible, or sometimes you can come back out and think, I'm never gonna dash this away. I thought I lost everything. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit.
Yeah. Do you know what it is, right? I think that especially when you look at the American artists, they're making millions, right? And obviously UK ones as well. They're making
Mhm,
millions, but yet their life is even worse than it was before. And so
mhm,
I don't think most people truly desire to leave their area because I don't think they've ever thought past their career.
mhm,
And that's why I say people need to adjust themselves before they make a career decision sometimes. You
mhm.
think about it, right? How many artists do you know, especially in America, who you know they're making millions, but yet they're still in wars every day? So how come the money didn't improve their life?
You
How
know why?
come?
Because sometimes, remember when them remember this rapping thing now. Sometimes it's not even a career choice; it's a fashion choice. They're just doing that's what the next man's doing. It like it's part of the gang culture. So
Yeah.
sometimes, remember, not all of them blow up, but someone out of say the 1 out of 10, he's wavy and he makes a mad chorus and it just blows up. Do you get what I'm saying? And then
Mm,
before you know it, he's going number one and all that, and he didn't expect that. Maybe deep down inside he wanted that, but sometimes they don't expect it. Like the fame just comes quick and then their whole life changes, and they're still in the trenches, got the same ideals, got the same friends. Like it wasn't really like, like they put in an application to change my life by rapping. It was just part of going at the other gang, if you get what I'm saying. Because most of the time, these guys are singing songs about killing the other side, and some of them songs are the ones that are charting and that. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, it's just like tribal. It's like this music thing's turned like tribal. They use it as a weapon against the other side, if you get what I'm saying.
mm. I massively agree with you. It is very
Mm,
tribal, and
mm-hmm,
and the problem is this, right? Society change over the course of like every 15 to 20 years.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, because as a new generation comes and fades away, another generation comes in, and
mm-hmm.
then the way that we talk, slang, clothing,
Dress.
behavior,
Mm-hmm,
food, everything starts
mm-hmm,
to adjust over the course of
mm-hmm,
50, 20 years.
mm-hmm.
And the I think the problem is um, I don't see a shift for the good happening within the next 15 years.
Mm,
And that is
mm,
sad.
mm-hmm,
That is sad. Because when you look at it, when you look at most of the artists globally, right, who has what you call so-called popular culture, most of it, first and foremost, what is culture? Culture is language,
mm-hmm.
food,
Fashion.
fashion, entertainment,
Mm-hmm,
music, um, religion, or
mm-hmm,
non-religion, whatever,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
And so when you look at, and then there's one or two others, but when you look at all those pillars of the culture, here's a question for you. What one of those do you see improving anytime soon? Because
Food. Food.
if none of them are if none of them are improving, then
Yeah.
that means culturally we're in a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order for the tipping point to happen, one of them needs to be so overwhelmingly um positive that
Mm-hmm.
the rest starts to follow suit. So for
Mm-hmm.
example, our food is getting worse.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It is getting worse.
Yeah,
the, we're getting more ideas how to make different styles of food, but the actual raw material is getting terrible.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The music ain't getting any better from from a
Mm-hmm.
spiritual perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, fashion's here or there. Fashion's relative.
It just goes round and round, that, innit?
Yeah, fashion is kind of relative in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But fashion is normally stuck based upon where the entertainment is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the fashion represents the entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So because the entertainment represents a certain type of energy, the fashion represents a certain type of energy. They
Mm-hmm.
go side by side.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm-hmm.
why when you look back in the 1920s, they was wearing Tilbury hats and suits and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. and the entertainment was aligned with it. And as
Yeah.
time went on,
Frank
great,
Sinatra and people like that, and Nat King
exactly,
Cole and stuff like that. You get what
exactly,
I'm saying?
spot on.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
actually thinking about that, Kinko.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly, right. And so then you go into, the days of beatboxing, and you remember that the big
Mm-hmm.
big chains that this the
Chains,
medallions
big
and all the
ghetto
rest of it,
blasters.
the ghetto blasters, exactly,
Mm-hmm.
right. And then as time goes on, things start to adjust accordingly, you know and at this precise time, when you look at things spiritually, when you see what is happening spiritually within entertainment, and they say Lucifer has sole control and monopolization of entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
then you see that the radio stations, you see that the record companies want to maintain Lucifer's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then that then represents what the children now say, I need to maintain that culture.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for them to maintain that culture, like, let me give an example, right? You tell me at what point in history us as people used to celebrate devilish behavior, and actually and also representing it, saying, I am representing the devil or this or that or whatever.
No, it's more bossy now, isn't it? It's more bossy
Exactly.
now. Yeah, yeah,
Right. So
yeah,
where
yeah.
did that come from? Because
Mm-hmm.
now that even a child is now saying that
Mm-hmm.
openly, and a child is happy to even say, do you know what, I want to go on OnlyFans one day.
Mm-hmm.
It's all connected to a culture.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so, even going back to Bouncer in his case, I would love for him to. I mean, he's doing really good. He's doing
Mm-hmm.
really good, and he's trying his best overall. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? For what I see, um, I would love for him to really. I mean, I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, but what I would
Mm-hmm.
like to physically see myself
Mm-hmm.
is for him to turn around and really sit down with a lot of these artists and people who look towards him as well, and say, this is the price that we pay for the things that we do,
Mm-hmm.
and break that down.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very, very, very important,
Mm-hmm.
because why is it that so many people who are extremely wealthy and successful are unaliving themselves?
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
Why
you
is it
fully.
that so many of them are going through depression on a level that is 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 crazy?
Yeah, and the
Why
different
is
drugs
it,
that they're taking as well, just to subdue
to
it.
get
Like,
through?
yeah, basically, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Why is it that
ridiculous
so
now.
many people are taking drugs to the point that they just want to numb themselves
Yeah,
from the psychological, the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual pain that they're going through? Most people that are in the music industry are not enjoying the money that they're making, but
they're
yet
not
they
enjoying the
yearn
journey.
for the money, and they
Mm-hmm.
yearn for the fame, and they yearn for the success. But when they get to that place, they're in the darker place than they were before.
Mm-hmm. Do you reckon because of? Do you reckon? Well, that's what they say in it. Sell your soul. Do you reckon because of what they've had to do and what they've had to take on now to get all that success? Do you reckon that's what's come of it?
Well, here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
S- selling your soul is one thing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because some people consciously do it. This is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna do, and some people subconsciously do it, and some people don't know what they're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a maximum law. The
Mm-hmm.
maximum law is ignorance of the law is no exception,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's a maxim in law, and it's also a maxim of universal laws as well. So let me
Mm-hmm.
give an example what I mean by that. You've got a beautiful, pure baby. Let's say the baby's 2 years old. The baby's pure, the baby's beautiful. You love that baby so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the baby climbs to the edge of a building or balcony and falls over the side. The law of gravity still goes for that baby.
Mhm.
There ain't gonna be another law that says because you're a pure baby, we're gonna send you up in the sky
Mhm.
because you're a pure baby. No, that same law, that same ignorance of the law is no exception. You're still going down and you're still gonna hit the ground.
Mhm.
And
Unless 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 a truck drives past and it's got hay on the top.
well, once again, you know,
You
that,
know what I
that's a whole other thing that's going on exactly, right? Right.
mean?
But what I'm saying is
Yeah.
the law doesn't change for anyone. The
Mhm.
universal laws doesn't change for anyone. God's law doesn't change for anyone.
Mhm.
Right. And the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is when we play the game of negativity, regardless of what we benefit from, if it's finances, if it's fame, if it's wealth,
Mhm.
we still pay the price at some
Mhm.
point or another. You don't escape it.
Mhm.
I don't know one person on this planet that's ever escaped what they say,
Mhm.
what they do, what they represent, and what they
Mhm.
put forward. I've never met one
Mhm.
person, and I traveled to 25 countries studying human behavior when I was writing my book.
Mhm.
25 countries. I've spoken to oligarchs, aristocrats, rich people, poor people, homeless people,
Mhm.
spiritual people, religious people, you name it. I spent 10 years talking to people, doctors, lawyers, nurses, anesthetists, dentists, you name it. I spent so much time talking to people, and not one of them escaped
Mhm.
paying the price for. So this is I'm gonna grab my book in a sec. So just give me a moment. I'm gonna get up in a second and run and grab my book, right?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. Dentists, doctors, surgeons, anaesthetists, police officers, farmers, lawyers have some of the highest suicide rates
Mhm.
amongst working professions. These working professionals, they have some of the highest suicide rates. It's about 10 times suicide rates than the general public,
Mhm.
because when you vibrate within a certain frequency, you and when you're around people that's vibrating within a certain frequency, you have to vibrate within that frequency. Like when I'm working with some of my clients, for example, and they're going through depression and they're going through abuse and they're going through trauma, I always ask them, like for example, I was working with a woman a few days ago, and she's saying that she dealt with abuse from a child
Mhm.
and she doesn't know how to deal with that cycle. And the simple question I asked her straight away was, when was the last time your man hit you?
Mhm.
I didn't say if a man hit her, I said when
Mhm.
was the last time?
Mhm.
And she said, how do you know?
Mhm.
I said, because it's science.
Mhm.
You lot are all vibrating with an electron frequency. I said, when was the last time you um considered unaliving yourself? Not if, I said when. She said a
Mhm.
few days ago. How do you know? It's a science.
Mhm.
And so when people are vibrating within a certain frequency, so how does doctors manage to get to where doctors are going to? Doctors deal with what they call secondary trauma.
Mhm.
Doctors deal with what they call compassion fatigue. People pass their energies on to them.
Mhm.
Dentists. When you look at a dental surgery, right? Look, go back next time you go to get your teeth done for whatever reason. Look at the room. It's the size of a prison cell,
It is. I was in dentist the other day.
right? Yeah, and it's very mundane, like a prison cell.
Mhm.
And now, imagine spending 15 years in there,
Mhm.
and now on top of that, imagine sitting someone down and you're the electrocutioner, and every
Mhm.
time you touch their teeth with the drill or their gums with the drill, they're the equivalent of going through electric shock.
Mhm.
And then they pass that energy on to that dentist. That
Mhm.
dentist then carries that home, and that dentist is not filtering it out
Mhm.
enough until that
Mhm.
dentist starts to consider, I don't want to live no more. And everyone's
Mhm.
celebrating the dentist. You got a good job. Everyone's celebrating the doctor. You got a good job. Everyone's celebrating their success. You're making money, but
Mm-hmm.
they within themselves are going through massive pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're going back to the drill artists, when we're going back to the grime artists, when we're going back to all of these, everyone pays the price.
Even
No
these
one
new reggae
escapes it.
artists.
Sorry.
Even the new reggae artists as well.
If you're
Getting
vibrating
worse.
within a negative frequency
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you're singing or rapping about or whatever, even if you say yeah, but it's my experiences, as a man thinketh, so shall he become.
Mm-hmm.
And as a man preach, he shall reap what that preaching is also so as well. None of us escape it. We're back to the baby conversation. The baby doesn't know about the law of gravity. The baby's 2 years old. But if the
Mm-hmm.
baby falls off the side of a building, the law of
They're same
lift
as
is
well.
not helping out that baby. The
Mm-hmm.
law of gravity is going to give the baby the price that the baby didn't anticipate. None of
Mm-hmm.
us escapes it.
So that means also then that also means the baby don't escape it. Like even if you're in a situation but you're doing bad to survive, and you're doing bad, so you're doing bad to survive, and the other guy is doing bad because he wants to do bad, you still both of them are still not gonna escape the situation.
No one escapes it. No one escapes it. No one escapes it. If you're doing what you have to do and one person's doing what they want to do, no one escapes it.
Mm.
No one
Yes,
escapes
Pablo
it.
Machine. That's what I meant. Yeah, she
Sorry?
just asked. She was just clarifying. Do I mean dancehall artists? Yes, that's what I meant. Dancehall,
Let me read some of these messages. Oh, do
dancehall
you want to read
artists.
some of these messages? Let me just grab my book 1 second, yeah?
Yeah, go on, grab the book. Grab the book.
Give me a sec.
Also, there's over 100 people in there at the moment. It keeps on going up and down. Could you give us some more likes, please? Because it helps the algorithm. We've only got 11 likes so far, and I'm sure at least
Yeah, please, yeah.
250 people have passed through here already. Really appreciate that. But let me go. As you lot are giving me some likes, I'm going to go and read some of the comments for me and
All right, give me a
for me and
second.
Kev. All right, cool.
All right.
Come on, you lot. We're still on 12. It doesn't take a lot just to press one button. Please, man. Come on. It helps us. It helps us. It pushes it out more. It pushes the show out to more people so more people can see and get the knowledge. Yeah. So yeah, the great honor and prosper. Big up Q and Kev. Yeah, give thanks for the app, Kev, he said. Mickey said, like and share, get the live out there. Exactly, Mickey. This is what we're trying. This is what I'm trying to tell them. Like and share, it gets it more out there. Kelly, do you use Maslow's hierarchy? I think Kev answered that one before. You can't pour from an empty cup. Got to recharge and come back stronger, more focused. That's right, Kelly. Victor Bouvis, being trying to this all my life, in and out of the system. Most of us really lost our way and still haven't found our way back yet. That's true. Kelly, I think counselling is needed. Most definitely, I done counselling. It helped me a lot. You have to take care of your mental, especially when you're in the line of work, dealing with people and their traumas or being a part of their personal growth. Okay, basically, you were able to feed your habit. Prison industrial complex coming into the UK. This is bungled and botched. Just ticks on a shareholder's portfolio. That's right. Would you say you struggled out in the real world, so prison became your normal? No, it's not. I struggled out in the real world. It was in the real world wasn't doing me any good. It was unhealthy for me. So when I went back to prison, it was 3 meals a day, gym, and detoxification. That made me feel a lot stronger and a lot better, and being more spiritual too. So yeah, that's kind of how prison was and the real world. But the more I stayed in prison, prison became normal, and going on the street became a holiday. That's what it did turn into. So there's a few more. I'm there. Do you want to read a couple, Kev? To see if you see any that
Um,
you like. I'm
be
scrolling through.
careful of who you allow to speak into your life. That's very true. Proud of you
Hmm.
guys. Thank you very much, D. Kelly. Appreciate you. Frederick, respect. Body snatch, respect, respect. Just going through this quickly.
Cat Eye says you might get away with things, but you'll always pay for what you've done 100%.
That's so true.
Hmm.
This is the reason why when I go through certain things in life,
Hmm.
I just accept it and I just ride the cycle. And this is what most, as I said to you before. By the way, this is the book here that I wrote.
Send me the link in it, and I'll put it in the description after when I upload the video. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So they can go
this
straight
book
through it, so
helps
they know
you.
where to go
Yeah,
and get.
yeah, this book has helped so much people so far. Like, it's got worksheets in there to help people that's going through stress,
Mhm.
trauma. It also helps people get to a place of excellence as well. You know, it's
Mhm.
helped so much. I mean, it's helped so much people
Mhm.
globally so far. So yeah, this book's a really, really powerful book. I spent years researching it and putting it together. So yeah, it's such a powerful book. Who helps the helpline when the helpline needs help?
Mhm.
You can get it on Amazon as well, or I can sign it for you. Either way it goes. But it's, yeah, it's really powerful, really, really powerful.
You
It
know,
breaks it all
people
down.
not talking about you lot in there, but you know, people are lazy nowadays. So you reckon you could give us a link and they can just go through to the link and go and purchase it?
Yeah,
I
sure,
could
sure,
put
sure,
I could
sure.
put it in the
I'll add
description.
the
And I'll
link
put it in the
over, of
video
course.
after or
Yeah,
tomorrow
sure.
when it uploads. They everyone was saying, yeah, you reap what you sow and same like that. But then Kelly said, no, I believe God is a forgiving God who can forgive everyone. I believe in repentance. So what about repentance? Does the cycle still continue while you're repenting?
Yeah, no, here's the thing, right? Once again, what God what God does at one point is different to what you have to adventure at another point.
Mm,
Do you understand what I'm saying? So for example, I personally don't believe you can say, right, I know, let's say I know I'm gonna be a serial killer and I'm gonna kill 100 people, and then when I finish killing 100 people, I'm gonna retire and say, God, my bad.
mhm,
You have to pay the price for those 100 people, either way it's measured.
mhm,
So whatever happens with you and God on judgment day, that's another thing. But what you have to deal with day to day, it may be psychological torment, it may be emotional torment, it may be take taking drugs or alcohol, or there's so many different things that people suffer based upon the decisions they make. So I think what God does on judgment day is different to what you experience on your day to day based upon the decisions and the behavior that you
mhm.
um that you choose to do and you choose to make, you know. So I'm just looking at some of these.
Same,
I
man.
might enough either.
We need
Yeah.
to body snatcher says we need to glamorize more positive and things and not negative.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I massively agree. I agree. Here's the problem. The problem and the challenge is, and I'm not saying it should go any other way, but the problem and the challenge is social media doesn't want to see positivity.
Well, this is what Jerome McBean just said. He says trends precede the culture. Fashion, as an example, Clark trended in Jamaica based on particular artists. Now it's become part of the culture. It's not trendy to make positive music, so they don't do it.
Yeah, Ebony just said, powerful what Ebony said. Sometimes it can skip you and reach your children,
You
which will
said that.
hurt, yeah, a lot more. Exactly. And that's what I was talking
Mhm.
about before. We all pay the price. And so
Mhm.
sometimes we feel like we may escape something, but then it passes down onto our children, and our children feel the
Mhm.
pain of it, which then hurts us
Mhm.
in return. So once
Mhm.
again, we all pay the price.
Frederick K says, if you are born into a negative environment and housing estate, what choices do the youth have?
Okay, so let me talk about my situation, yeah?
Mhm.
So I born in Stockwell Park Estate, Brixton, and
Mhm.
in the 90s, 80s, 90s, but in the 90s, Stockwell Park Estate and Brixton was a war zone.
Mhm.
Brixton is nice, as you know, Quids. Brixton is
Mhm.
beautiful today. Brixton is
Amazing.
is heaven today in comparison to what it was back then.
Mhm.
And in the 90s, I got stabbed 4 different times, died on the operating table one of the
Mhm.
times. My brother was shot and killed. I had a son that died. Most of the men them around me either ended up dead or in jail.
Mhm.
Um, my dad had cancer. A lot happened. So I was in the mix of the negativity.
Mhm.
And I have actually talked about in the first chapter in the book as well. When you grow up around, so when you're in a state, and what makes the states a lot harder is trauma is on top of you, trauma
Mhm.
is underneath you, and
It's
trauma is
everywhere.
beside you
Mhm.
because you're surrounded by it. Your next door
Mhm.
neighbors, they live above you, below you, beside you, right? And you
Mhm.
can't escape it. And when you step out your house, you're stepping out into that as well. You have to navigate.
Mhm.
By the time we used to get to Brixton Road, we was in war. And then there was a
Mhm.
time where Stockwell Park Estate and Angel Town was in conflict. And then there's
Mhm.
another time. So there's all different wars is going on. Then you got people from East London coming down to war, North London, and you're not escaping. And then I went Dick Shepherd School. That school was so bad, as you know, Chrissy. They had to close the school down, and the
Mhm.
headmaster got killed. Yeah,
Mhm.
Mr.
Imagine that.
Lawrence, right?
Yeah,
And
I
then
remember him.
when we had to move from, and every day was war in a at Dick Shepherd School, right?
Mhm.
And then I left from Dick Shepherd School and I went Michael Ramsey School, and it was more war. And
Mhm.
so everywhere I went was war. It was I was consumed with war
Mhm.
every single day. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I get it. I get that it's very, very hard to escape it, but it's possible. And it's
Mhm.
possible because I done it. And it's possible because I know a few other people done it. And it's not easy.
Mhm.
But I've never met someone that's ever said life is easy anyway. I've never ever
No.
met one person that says, no, life is easy. Everyone says, no, life is challenging, life is hard. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And how did I get out of it? First and foremost, I used to read and I used to study and I used to have mentors and I had to create those people. I had to say to people, please mentor me, teach me how to
Mhm.
be a better person. Back
Mhm.
then I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad was around those days. I was reading those days um Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and listen to his
Mhm.
tapes and stuff like that. I was just listening to Tony Robbins back then. I needed to psychologically get myself out where my body couldn't go. I lived with my
Mhm.
parents. Where am I going? I didn't have the money to
Mhm.
go. So I
Mhm.
had to psychologically every day train my mind because that's the only thing I had control of. I didn't have control of
Mhm.
my body. I didn't have control of my locations. I didn't have
Mhm.
control of any of that. The only one thing I had control of was my mind.
Mhm. I done the
And
same
so,
thing like that in prison.
yeah,
But, yeah, to keep out of prison mentally, I was reading so much stuff. So it's like I
yeah,
wasn't here. It's like I created my own fantasy in my mind. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? So I didn't have to deal with the day to day.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
that's
So
the
I know
only thing you've
exactly
got
what you're
control of.
saying.
That's
Mm,
the only thing you've got control of. They own your body in prison.
mhm.
They own your movement in prison. But the thing that they don't own
Mhm.
is your mind. And living on an
Mhm.
estate and living on a lot of estates, the only thing you've got is your mind. Because you may not
Mhm.
can physically move at that time. You may not
Mhm.
can physically deal with certain things at that time, but the one thing
Mhm.
you have is your mind. And
Mhm.
I know it sounds a bit like for some people they hear it every day and they probably hear it in quotes and slogans and all the rest of it, you
Mhm.
know. But the truth of it is, I remember when my brother got killed, they put my name in the newspaper. They're saying this is what they're anticipating the next, this is gonna happen and that's gonna happen,
Mhm.
all the rest of it. And around the time I had a child that died as well. Um, and around that time there was a lot going on. Yeah. Um, and I learned how to play chess. Okay, there's two things I remember from my childhood. When I was 7, I learned about the G7 and G8, the 7 and 8
Mhm.
most powerful countries in the world,
Mhm.
and it helped me massively. And I'm gonna tell you the reason
Mhm.
why. At the same time, when I learned about the G7 and G8, I also learned how to play chess very, very well
Mhm.
at the time. And what I used to do, I used to think, I used to say to myself, okay, how would Margaret Thatcher deal with this conflict? Because she's part of the G7.
Mhm.
How would President Reagan deal with this conflict? How would and also look at world leaders and say, how would they deal with this? And that allowed me to think bigger than the ends. That allowed
Mhm.
me to think bigger than the balconies. That allowed
Mhm.
me to think bigger than the mandem. I used to think like a world leader because
Mhm.
every country's got an issue, especially back then. Germany had guns, but not enough food. You know,
Mhm.
um, you had all these different countries that had certain issues, right?
Mhm.
And every country used to trade with each other to make sure, hence the G7, to make sure that they can all work together, have an understanding, but also for their country to thrive. And so
Mhm.
I used to look at it like that as well. How would this world leader do it? How would that world leader? The second thing I used to do as well, and when I was really in problems, I used to do this. I used to play chess, but I used to take out all the the chess pieces. Then I had to put down pieces of paper, and I had to put people's names on the paper that I was in conflicts with, or governments, or police, or whatever.
Mhm,
And then I would
mhm,
say, okay, if I do that move, checkmate. If I do that, this, that, and I had to actually physically write down, okay, that police squad, that set of man them. And I
mhm,
used to play the game and work out what my next moves were. So from a young
mhm,
age, I already had 6, 7 moves that I was
mhm.
working out ahead of me. Do you understand what I'm saying? I had to do
Yeah.
that. And so what I'm saying is we have to be that on point in
Mhm,
general. We have to.
mhm,
Because once again, how many of us are in jail? How many of us are dying? How many of us are going
mhm,
through what we're going through? We have to be chess players.
mhm.
We have to be chess players. We have. I mean, what do you think? What's your thoughts?
In regards to what the mentality
Like,
we need to have,
yeah, like so. Someone said, "How do we deal with um growing up in a negative environment? How do we get
like in the
past that?"
estate. But that's why I was saying to you before. Remember, I was saying to you before, if this person, if there's someone just doing wickedness because they can, but someone doing badness just to survive, are they still gonna get the same? Is it still
Yeah,
gonna be self? They still
yeah,
gonna get the same punishment?
yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah,
here's
this
the
is what I'm
thing.
saying. So it's hard.
Yeah,
So regardless of anything, if you want to survive, you have to be strategic. Then,
you have to be spiritually, emotionally, and physically and psychologically strategic.
mm. But even if that strategic is comes with evenness,
It doesn't need to. It's a choice.
mm. But it's about survival.
It is, but we still have to pay the price.
Because we know some people who were so good and so nice in an environment that we lived in, they got killed and they didn't survive because they couldn't. They was that the bad side they couldn't tap into. It wasn't in them. But obviously, sometimes we have been born around certain people, so sometimes it was easier for us to tap into more second nature, and we become survivors, and they fell to the wayside. So is it my fault that I was able to see certain things so I could tap into this energy to be able to survive? Is that my fault?
Here's the thing, right? Eh, right. So we're kind of
Remember,
having, I think, two
some
conversations
people.
here,
Remember,
right?
some people are raised around good people, innit? So when they're raised around good people, they may not see these things. When we're raised around bad people, we see in them knowing how to survive, so we just kind of tap into it easily.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. And this is why, once again, it's what you're saying is powerful, really
Mm,
powerful. And I'll tell you the reason why it's powerful, because there's children in Gaza right now that don't deserve it. There's children
mm-hmm,
in Lebanon right now that don't deserve it. There's
mm-hmm,
children in Syria that don't deserve it. There's
mm-hmm,
children in Somalia that don't deserve it, right? So
mm-hmm,
there's a side of this where it's like this is really unfair.
mm-hmm,
But the downside of it is, regardless what we're born into, as soon as we're consciously aware, as soon as we're consciously aware, that's the moment and the second that we have to pay the price for those conscious decisions. I mean, we still pay the price because I said if a baby falls off the side of an edge,
exactly. That's
right,
what I keep
it's,
thinking about again. The
it
law
still
don't
pays the
change.
price, right?
Mm,
But and so what it was, right? People say to me, "How did you deal with your brother's death? And how did you deal with your son's death? And how did you deal with all of these things that's happened to you?" I've learned over time that they're everyone's journey is everyone's journey. Everyone's adventure is
mm-hmm,
everyone's adventure. And we can't take on another person's adventure and put it on our shoulders. So
uh-huh,
when my brother died, I had to let go very quickly. This was your journey for you to have fulfilled. I can't
uh-huh,
take that on.
uh-huh,
You get what I'm saying? And it sounds kind of cold in one sense, and it sounds a bit strange in another sense. But when you really think about it in a finite detail, when we take on the pain and the burdens of what someone else has experienced,
uh-huh.
it becomes our experience, it becomes our pain. We walk around
I
angry.
know about that.
Yeah, we walk around angry. We walk around depressed. We end up with ulcers. We end up
Mhm,
with brain hemorrhages. We end up with um diabetes. We end up with all these different diseases in the
mhm,
body because
mhm,
we're taking on what we don't have control over.
mhm,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
mhm.
And
And what we
so
can't change, what we can't change.
we can't change. We have to
Mhm,
let go of what we can't control. I
mhm,
only worry about nowadays what I can control. Anything
mhm.
I don't control, I don't give it a second thought.
Do you know what? You just done something for me there. Because I've been thinking about so it was so easy, but it's the way you said it. It just made it easy for me. Like I've been thinking about some other things, and I realized there's no point me thinking about them because I'm not in control of them. Just
Yeah,
control what you got control of and make the best of that. That's the only thing
yeah,
that's gonna work.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
One more thing, Kev. You see everybody, yeah, in the corner. There's three dots, yeah, because obviously the like button is not. It's not on the page. There's three dots in the. If you press them three dots in the top of the corner, and then the like button will come out. If you could press that, we appreciate it. Carry on, Kev.
Any,
Sorry
has
for that.
anyone got any questions they want to ask?
They said we're powerful together, Kev.
Respect, bro, man. We
Kelly,
come from
Kelly, big up
somewhere
Kelly.
that's
Exactly, same place,
Mm.
huh?
Yeah, we come from the same place,
Few
man.
roads away.
Exactly.
Look. This one, look. This one's Telmo Ramos says, bros, you're talking about racism. Come to Germany, then you'll see racism for real. You're in the UK, that's still okay. Um,
Did we talk about racism?
I don't, I don't remember that. When did we do that? When did we?
We didn't
Did
speak
we
about
do that?
racism once.
I don't think. I don't think we spoke about racism. He did remind me though that there was something that we needed to talk about in regards to the that little boy. Was it in Cumbria or something?
I'm not sure it
The little
was.
black
Right,
boy.
yeah.
Because I saw Raspeton that go. It's Raspeton that went Cumbria today, isn't it? I think.
Respect to them. Respect to them. I saw
Respect
something
to them.
on
When I saw that, I said,
that.
"Don't mess
Respect
with
to them.
Raspeck, you know. Do not play with the boy." And you know what's funny? The other day he said he's retired. When he saw that, he came out of retirement. You gotta give it to him
Mm.
still. Eh? He said, "Nah,
No,
nah,
yeah,
nah."
yeah. The last time I spoke to Respect, I had to say to him, man, I gave him his award, innit,
Mhm.
at the
At the award
Croydon
show.
award event, you
Mhm.
know. Respect to them. And see, here's the thing. For the guy who said if you want to come to Germany, you experience racism, you can't measure someone else's pain against another
Mhm.
person's pain.
Mhm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because everyone
Mhm.
receives pain according to their pain threshold.
Mhm.
So racism in one country may be really bad to you,
Mhm.
but racism in our country may be really bad to us. You can't measure the two because
Mhm.
everyone receives pain as an individual. So,
Mhm.
for example, that poor little boy who they
Did you
made,
watch it, Kev? Did you watch it? Yeah. Did you watch it?
yeah, I saw it. I saw it. I saw it. And it made me say to myself, to be honest with you, and I haven't come to a conclusion yet, so don't hold me to it.
Mhm.
Um, it made me say to myself, did they do this to him because they believe there's no community behind him?
Say that again.
It made me, and as I said, I haven't concluded it yet. I'm having a moment of a soliloquy. Yeah, I'm having a
Mhm.
soliloquy moment right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
So did they do that to him because they felt like he's got no backative? So, for example, I'll give an example, right?
Mm.
When you see countries, okay, I've got to give a backstory on this. When governments are dealing with people,
Mhm.
yeah, when countries are dealing with people, yeah, um,
Mhm.
they deal with people in a very unique way. So, let me give an example. If the English government was to abuse Chinese people,
Mhm.
right? China, 1.4 billion people in China, but the Chinese government will sanction England.
Mhm.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Mhm.
Yeah. Because China moves as one.
Mhm.
And if China was to ever hear that a country was purposely abusing or mistreating their citizens,
Mhm.
China would turn around and have some form of trade tobacco, or would have some form of
Mhm.
penalization in place to say, do not mess with our people. Do you understand what I'm
Mhm. They
saying?
do something where it hurts. Where it hurts. They do
It would
something that
hurt the
hurts.
economy or something. They'll
Mhm.
stop a
Mhm.
trade deal or something, yeah?
Mhm.
Stop
Mhm.
sending grain or whatever it may be, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that happens with different cultures. There's no one black leader globally that says if anything happens to our to our um to our black people, we're going to sanction your country, or we're going to do something that's going to. The only person that was close to it was Mugabe. There's no other
But
leader
what in
that has.
regards to the farmers and that?
Yes, where they said,
Mhm.
listen, you're not
Mhm.
coming out because you're being disrespectful, right? Good or bad or
Mhm.
indifferent, that's down to that, right? But
Mhm.
when you
Mhm.
look at black leaders globally, you don't see them penalizing a country that makes a country say we have to respect their people or their citizens. And
Mhm.
that's the reason why you don't see the police being overly abusive and the government being overly abusive to certain communities.
Mhm. It's true.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't see that. You don't see that with the state of Israel. You don't see
Mhm.
the abuse of Israelis or the
Mhm.
Jewish community being abused by the police, for example.
Mhm.
You don't see it. Do
I
you
don't even
understand
know
what I'm
if you.
saying?
I don't even know if you don't see it apart from anyone than black. Say to
Well,
you.
there you and the reason why we're going
yeah,
back to it again, the
yeah,
reason
yeah.
why,
The
because
reason I said that is because you said Israelis, and then I was thinking, obviously, who were the opposition to Israelis, and even them, even when they was marching the other day, they still wasn't getting handled the way we would have got handled if we was out there making out that noise. Tell you that for free.
right. And
I'm being
so
real.
and I'm not saying they don't have their problems, and I'm not saying
No,
that they don't
everyone
go
has their
through what they go
problems,
through.
but I'm saying I've seen how we get dealt with. It's different.
Exactly.
That's all I'm
And what
saying.
I'm
That's all
saying
I'm
is,
saying. There's levels to
yeah,
it, innit? There's tiers. Yeah.
exactly. And what I'm saying is, from a global perspective, there ain't black global leaders that say don't
Mhm.
play that game.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's what a lot of people's missed.
Mhm.
Why is it that we're disrespected across the world, from America
Mhm.
right round to throughout Europe? Let me tell you one
Mhm.
of the most things that's been so heartbreaking for me. This is absolutely heartbreaking. When I go throughout Europe, right? If it's
Mhm.
Spain, Bulgaria, Malta, wherever it is, when I go throughout Europe
How they
and
treat
I
black people
see a lot of like Africans walking
on the beach and that, selling little
on the
fake
beach and that,
designer
right?
clothes. Is that the fake designers and that? They just deal with them like pure
It's
disdain.
heartbreaking. And when I
I know.
see them, there's no confidence because they know
Mhm.
make one bad decision and there's
Mhm.
no one that's going to protect me. There's no government
Mhm.
globally. There's no
Mhm.
advocate globally that's going to say, don't play with our
Mhm.
people. And
Mhm.
so it changes the level of confidence of how certain black people move or
Mhm.
black and brown people move throughout
Mhm.
different parts of the world because they know
Mhm.
deep down there's no government that's going to say turn around and say don't play that game. But if you play that game, we're going to
Mhm.
block whatever we're going to block coming into your country.
Mhm.
And so what happens is the government doesn't then turn around and say to local government, listen, fix up because we're in problems there. And the local government doesn't turn around and say to their establishments, listen,
Mhm.
do not play because there's a bigger picture going on right now. And
Mhm.
based upon that bigger picture that's going on, we don't need you to mess things up.
Mhm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's what the problem is. So going back to it, when the police is abusing people and
Mhm.
we're abusing ourselves because we don't know ourselves
Mhm.
and our culture doesn't look strong and our and what we rap about, sing about is destroying us, then other people just steps in and say, we might as well just kick in as well. So when you're seeing that black boy
Mhm.
getting abused up where it
Mhm.
was, and when you're seeing that a lot of um our people are getting disrespected and abused, it's because the outsiders are looking in and saying it's a free for all.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what I do as well when I go? When you go on holiday and you go to the you go to that all inclusive, and then everyone's downstairs eating
Yeah,
in the hotels. Yeah.
yeah,
Have you noticed when you go down there, they're all staring when you go down there, innit? Have you noticed that? You see, when I go down there, you know what? Especially after I see the way they deal with the people on the beach, the black people on the beach,
yeah.
I go down there as fly as possible. Yeah,
Mm.
I'll be on my phone. Don't even know I'm on my phone. I just want them to hear my accent. Yeah, just so it pisses them off even more. Do you get what I mean? Like, you can't deal with me like how you deal with them. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I see the looks that they give me when I go down there. Do you get what I'm saying? So I go down there just to piss them off. Do you know what I mean? Like, stay down there. I put more food. I stay down there longest. Have fake conversations on my phone. Just to make them know that I am happy. Do you get what I'm saying, brother? I'm happy, and you lot don't bother me. I do that quite a lot when I go on them on inclusive thingy bobs, because I see the way they look at me. They think that I'm one of the people from the beach at first. Do you get what I'm saying? And I let them
No,
know, no,
I
I'm
don't
not.
think so. I don't think
Do
so.
you,
I'll tell you the reason why.
I
Do
do
you know
that.
what is
Huh?
energy is a certain thing, you know? You see the way we walk and the
Mm-hmm.
way we
Or
carry
maybe it's the
ourselves,
confidence in it, like you said, because other ones ain't got no confidence. So when I come through walking all confident, that's probably what the staring's about.
the way
Yeah,
you dress, the way you
yeah,
may
yeah,
wear
yeah,
your
yeah,
watch, the way
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
they pick up on that energy. They know you're different. They're just
Uh-huh.
trying to measure who are you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True. I let them know I'm somebody. I tell you that. Serious. Because I see the way they look at man, like they just think that man's shit. Do you get what I'm saying? And man's definitely not. And and I realize in Europe they don't like England anyway. Do you know what I mean?
But you know, let me tell you something.
It's
Let me
like
tell
a
you what's
double whammy.
interesting.
It's like a double whammy, black and English. It's just double whammy.
Let me
The
tell you
police
something.
don't
I'll
like me
never
either.
forget this. I'll never
Mm.
forget this. I was in Egypt and I was by Sharm el Sheikh, I think it was in Egypt, and I was
Mhm.
getting ready to go over to Cairo. And everywhere I went, people were saying to me, "Where you from? Where you from? Where you from?"
Mhm.
And I said, "Oh, I'm from England." They went, "Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay, whatever." "Where you from? Where you from? Where you from?" "I'm from England." "Oh, okay, whatever." And after the
Mhm.
third day of people asking, "Where you from?" I said, "England." Man said, "No, no, 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 no. Where are
Mhm.
you from?" I
Mhm.
said, like England." He said, "No, no, 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 no. Where's your parents
Mhm.
from?" I said, "Oh, my
Mhm.
parents are from Jamaica." They
Mhm.
said, "Good, good." And he hugged me.
Mhm.
I went,
Mhm.
"Wow." And then
Mhm.
afterwards, people asking, "Where you from? Where you from? Where you from?" I said, "I'm from
Mhm.
Jamaica." "Oh, come here, my friend. I love you. I love you." And
Mhm.
then something occurred to me. No one's got no conflict with Jamaica. There's no
Mhm.
country on this planet that's got a conflict with Jamaica. And
Mhm.
so what I realized was when I turned around and told people I was from England, I was the enemy. I
Mhm.
was like, let me just see if I can get money from you. Yeah, that's the only thing I want. I don't want no relation with you. I don't want to know you. I just want money. But when I told people I
Mm.
was from Jamaica,
It's all
they were
love.
like, "My brother, come here. I love you, my brother. I love you." And I learned so
Bob
much about
Marley.
myself that now when I travel globally, I tell them I'm from Jamaica. And the love I get is
Mm.
phenomenal. The love
What is
I
it?
get, they put on Bob Marley for me. They this, they that. Like, I get so much love. And so the more the story is sometimes when we are representing one thing, but we are really
Mhm.
another, that's where the love comes from.
Mhm.
That's where like the English passport is good when you're going in and out of airports. It's
Yeah, I
good.
love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is good. The
Yeah.
passport is good for them. But as soon as we get into a country, we gotta adjust it sometimes and say where we're
Mhm.
from a different perspective.
What's happening there?
You know,
Hear that noise?
what's that?
Did you hear a noise? It kind of went, didn't you hear it?
No.
Oh, it's probably just nothing then.
So before we wrap up, is there anything else we want to what any questions from anyone or
Yeah, we finished on 90 minutes, innit? Let's finish on 90, Kev. We're already 6 minutes there.
or 90? What another what? I can't hear you.
No, no, 6 minutes. We got 6 minutes left.
Oh, 6 minutes.
Yeah, the clock's going. It says 84 minutes at the moment.
Oh, I can't see it on my side.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah. So we got 6 minutes, 84 minutes now. So like you said, if there's anything anyone wants us to talk about, they just pull it in a message now. We can just finish on that.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the comments as well, everybody. And if anyone can give us some more likes, press the three dots at the top of the corner. You see the like button.
Also, as well, please check out my book. Look at it in
Yes,
Amazon.
I'll
We'll
put the
put the
link in the
link in.
description for everyone. And what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram?
Oh, my Instagram is Kevin_Bennett1. Kevin
Yeah, I'll put that in the
underscore
description as
Bennett
well.
one.
Send
Yeah, I'll put
send
that
me
in there as
everything that
well.
you want me to put. Yeah, send me everything you want me to put in the description, yeah, Kevin. I'll pull it in after. Just WhatsApp it to
Sure,
me, innit? And then when I'm writing up
sure.
the title and that and uploading this one, because this is gonna upload and go on the channel, I'll put everything in there, the description, the book, how to get it, XYZ. Any
Yeah.
tags you got for me. Best advice, they said. Best advice.
Okay.
I'll leave that one
Best
to you, Kev.
advice. Best advice is relative. Let me try quickly. Um, 5 stages. Stage 1 is your belief system. Stage 2 is your self-conversation. Stage 3 is the actions you take. Stage 4 is the results you get. Stage 5 is now you've got knowledge. Work on your belief system. Your belief system is everything. If you work on your belief system, your self-conversation becomes powerful. If your self-conversation is powerful, your actions are powerful and positive. If your actions are positive and powerful, you will get good results. If you get good results, you become knowledgeable, you become powerful. So the best result I would say, the best advice I would say is work on a positive belief system. And no matter what happens in life to you, always represent integrity. When they go low, you go high.
So about when they go
Because
high?
they're gonna
What about when they go high?
when they go high, we're all good. But
Okay,
we should
okay.
always represent integrity
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we don't know who's watching. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we go low to meet their negativity,
Ah, I know what you mean
and
now. Sorry, sorry,
someone
sorry, sorry. Yeah,
and
sorry.
someone is watching.
I was playing
Someone is
poker.
watching who make it a big deal, and they say,
Mm-hmm.
"I don't like how you behave."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at all
You told me that
times,
before. You gave me that advice before, remember?
yeah,
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 and I took it. I took it. I took it, didn't I? I was ready to go low, like a rascal. You know when you go under that thing? What's that dance they do when they go under the rug?
yeah, yeah. That lick.
I was going. I was ready. You just stepped right in and saved me, boy. Thank you for that as well, brother, man.
Yeah.
I
Any
didn't
more
thank you last
questions?
time. Um,
Any more questions?
any more questions? Anybody? We got space for another question.
Yeah. One more question.
One more question. Kat, you must have a question, man. Let's go. In the world.
Also, my YouTube channel is Kevin Bennett's Trauma. It's the name
Is
of my
that one
YouTube
word? Yeah,
channel.
one word. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Bennett's Trauma.
All right. We got 2.5 minutes. Ah, lol. You wanna lol now? When you put them
As
on when
well,
you put them, they've always got some things to say. When you put it on them now, they wanna LOL. Funny.
no point now.
No point now. Everyone's got any excuses. No, if he's answering the question and it goes 2 minutes over, he'll finish. He'll finish what he's saying. But we just need to try and get in before 90. We got 2 minutes left. Not enough time. Listen to Cat. Look at it. Look at it trying to get away. No problem, man. Next time we'll be all right. We'll be back. I just
Maybe
joined.
maybe we should do this again next week. This time
Yeah,
or
let's do
so.
it next week. Let's do it next week. And if you want us to talk about anything, just DM us both. DM us both. You'll see the descriptions for Kevin's stuff when I upload this tomorrow morning. This whole live will be up tomorrow morning, so you can watch it again and share it. Please share it to as much people as you can. That's how we get the message out. That's how we heal each other. That's how we get through this trauma together by getting the knowledge. So if you could do that, we'd be grateful.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, I'm creating an app at the moment, and this
Mhm.
app is going to be free. I've spent
Mhm.
tons of money on it for our community, and this app is
Mhm.
designed to help you with your trauma,
Mhm.
help with your finances, help
Mhm.
you with your health, help
Mhm.
you with your growth, help with your spirituality. It covers all
Mhm.
the areas of your life, help you with your belief system.
Mhm.
So that app is going to be ready in about 3-4 months' time.
Okay.
So if you can also send over probably email addresses and stuff as well, we'll make
Mhm.
sure that you will get the first
All
testing of
get
the
it.
app as well, and we'll
That'd be
give you some
brilliant.
goodies to go with it.
Oh, look, finally got a live with Q and the Oracle. Nah, but love, this guy is it, Kev. Anyway, just ended my day and spotted this notification. So how's things, chaps? So how's things, chaps? Well, we're both all right. Kev's all right. I'm all right. We'll see you
Yeah,
next week, I suppose. We've
yeah,
got
yeah.
30
We'll see you
seconds
next week.
left.
What, 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock or ten
Yeah,
o'clock?
9 o'clock. We make it 9 o'clock. We make it
Bit
9
earlier.
o'clock. What's the day today? Tuesday. or Wednesday?
Is it Tuesday? I think it's
Is it?
Wednesday
It's
today.
Wednesday today, isn't it?
Yes, Wednesday today.
Anyway, as Monday kicks in, we'll decide we do it Tuesday or Wednesday. Every Tuesday or Wednesday,
Just
just
look out
depending on
for it.
what's going out for what's going on with the news or whatever. But those two
And
days,
make
even
sure you subscribe as
sometimes we
well,
might
so
even do
when that
Tuesday
comes
and
on, you
Wednesday.
get a notification. Please subscribe.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes we might even do Tuesday and Wednesday, depending what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. All right then, no
Please
problem. Thank
subscribe
you,
now,
everyone.
guys. Please.
Yeah, please subscribe and please press like. And when I put up the video tomorrow, please go and follow all of Kevin's things, as in his YouTube and his Instagram. And he's gonna put a link for the book in there. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
appreciate you lot's time that you spent with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I
Bless.
appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah,
Respect.
man. Love. All right, Kev, big up yourself, yeah, all the time, my bro.
Yeah, respect to you, bro,
Yeah,
man.
bro.
Keep going, man. Keep
Yeah, man.
going.
Love, my bro. Easy.
Nice one, man.
Bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
peace.
See you later. Okay. How do you come out of this? Okay, end stream.